Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing some more shorter-term technical analysis on Bitcoin, because in today's video, I want to get you guys caught up with what's gone on here over the last 24 hours or so on Bitcoin, but I also want to talk about the altcoins, because if we jump over to CoinMarketCap here, what you're going to see is that Bitcoin's dominance has been steadily rallying for the last year or so. It hasn't really had much of a correction. Bitcoin has nearly 2/3 of the market capitalization in all of cryptocurrency. That's a very interesting trend, and one that I think is going to come to an end soon. A lot of people have been talking about some kind of altcoin cycle, and I think we're on the cusp of that. We're going to be discussing what that means and whether or not we're going to see one in today's video. I hope you guys get a lot of value out of today's video. If you do, you can consider dropping a like. It does help out the channel, and if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe and notification bell, guys. Without much further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into it. The first thing I want to do here is really just look at the shorter term charts and get you guys caught up. There's not a whole lot to discuss here. The main thing is that Bitcoin did rally to around $10,800 yesterday, as you saw. From there, Bitcoin has corrected, and we're actually trying to test support on this downtrend of resistance, as you can see. It was interesting because in yesterday's live stream, I was asking people for ways that we could have predicted that little rally that we saw a little while after yesterday's video went live. If you didn't watch the live stream, hopefully you can tune into the next one. That bell button will help you out to catch those. We're going to start doing a lot more live streams, but the point I'm trying to make is that I was trying to figure out exactly what technical indicators would have called that bounce, and there weren't a whole lot of them calling it specifically right then. I think that may have been partially due to a whale, because if we come down here to the minute chart, what we're going to see is that that bounce, that jump happened extremely quickly, and it did happen a couple days earlier than I expected it would. I thought Bitcoin was going to go a bit lower than that, but in doing that, in watching this happen, I was trying to figure out if I'd made a mistake somewhere and if I'd missed a technical indicator, and I really didn't see a whole lot, guys. If we look at the 1 minute chart, there was RSI divergence down here, but guys, it's the 1 minute chart. You're going to see RSI divergence all the time. There wasn't really a great predictor of this. The one thing that someone was able to point out, we had 300 or so people watching the live stream yesterday, the one thing that someone pointed out was that there was a little bit of RSI divergence on the 4-hourly, and guys, I do mean a little bit. We had some downtrends here and a tiny uptrend here, and then this jump came almost 24 hours later. There wasn't really a great way to predict this, and sometimes that's going to happen in markets. Sometimes you're going to get blindsided. Sometimes you're not going to see a move coming. That's just what happens. And it seems that even though our prediction was a little bit early, that Bitcoin has actually gone ahead and had that bounce. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. We just got to be able to adjust to what the market's done. Now that it's bounced, maybe the bottom's in, guys. I'm not going to make a prediction on that right now, which is one of the reasons why what I want to do is zoom out and do some longer term technical analysis so that you guys have something while we're waiting for Bitcoin to make a decision, because right now Bitcoin is kind of in this indecisive phase. I want to see exactly what it does. There is a chance that we're forming an inverse head and shoulders pattern here with a shoulder right there, a head right here. Very, very easily this could form into an inverse head and shoulders pattern with Bitcoin moving to the upside. That is going to have to wait, and we're going to have to see whether or not that actually does develop. Very, very possible. Something we'll be keeping an eye on here on the channel. One last thing that I want to talk about before we move on to the altcoin TA and the longer term technical analysis having to do with market dominance would be something we also discussed in yesterday's live stream. Like I said, guys, make sure you tune in for those. People were really enjoying hanging out. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. It was a good time. Good time all around. But one thing someone asked me to talk about, because I'd seen this, of course, but I hadn't really talked about it a whole lot. If you remember yesterday's video, this trend line was like this, and they asked me to look at the trading channel. I was like, okay, well, you probably mean this trading channel. He didn't specify it. I think he meant this one, this longer term one that Bitcoin is in right now. We have a high and we have a higher low. We have a low and we have a lower low. That makes Bitcoin very clearly in a trading channel. And normally when you see that kind of thing happen, where Bitcoin was moving bullish into a descending trading channel, normally it's going to act kind of like a flag or a pennant, and it's going to see a bullish break to the upside. Very possible that we do see something like that happen, but guys, also remember that this does mean that we are in a very well-defined downtrend. We need to set a higher high above this level, and then ideally above this level, before we can say that we're officially in an uptrend again, even though I think that we are pretty close to the absolute bottom of this correction. Now, with all that in mind, let's go ahead and get on to the altcoin technical analysis, because the first thing I want to show you guys is this chart right here, and this is really just going to say it all. Everything else is going to be me elaborating on this, but I want you to take a look at this chart right here. This is the Bitcoin over the US dollar chart. Let's get a clean chart here. Here's BitMEX's chart. This is what Bitcoin over US dollars looks like. Now, let's look at some other altcoin charts. Ethereum, okay, that's what Ethereum looks like. Okay, let's look at another one, Litecoin. Okay, look, you see something going on here? I mean, look, we had this gigantic rally at the end of 2017, and we saw that Bitcoin crashed, and Litecoin crashed, and Ethereum crashed. But we've seen this little rally right here, and that seems great. I mean, the altcoins are doing pretty well, right? Litecoin, let's see. Litecoin is up, oh, I don't know, like 300% from its bottom or something, 600% on the top. It's like up like 400% from the bottom right now. Ethereum's up pretty well also, but just take a second and look at the way this rally looks and the way that this rally looks, and then take a look at the way the Bitcoin rally looks. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Guys, if you look at the dominance chart on Bitcoin, what you're going to find is that Bitcoin has been grabbing all of the dominance lately. Bitcoin has had a massive uptrend in the dominance from around 50% back over here in late March, all the way up to nearly 2/3 of all value in cryptocurrency being held in Bitcoin. That normally happens at the beginning of rallies, and that normally happens at the beginning of bull markets. There's nothing to be concerned about there, but it is an interesting trend that I wanted to bring to your attention. Because funnily enough, it always looks like these cryptocurrencies, all these altcoins, yeah, they're always green, right? They're always doing pretty well, but here's the thing. That doesn't actually mean anything. What matters is this, the Bitcoin comparative. And if you look at the Bitcoin comparative, most of these altcoins are almost always red. When you're looking at the altcoins over their US dollar comparative, sure, they're green. But if you're factoring in the opportunity cost of you could have been in Bitcoin instead, then you find that most of these altcoins are actually down. And that's why I was showing you the US dollar chart, because if you go to the Ethereum over Bitcoin chart, for example, it's not looking great. If you go to the XRP over BTC chart, it ain't looking that hot. If you look at the Litecoin over Bitcoin chart, these altcoins are not doing well on their Bitcoin comparatives. You would be much better off to be in Bitcoin. So does that mean that we're going to finally see an altcoin rally? Are we going to finally see that altcoin cycle that people have been wondering about for a long time? That's the question I want to dive into here on the second half of this video. And I think it's an interesting time for us to be looking at this, because as you guys know, the Litecoin halving is coming up relatively soon, in about 2 weeks. I mean, you never know exactly when it's going to happen, but in about 2 weeks, we're going to see a Litecoin halving. Those don't happen very often. In fact, they happen every other 4 years on Bitcoin, and they happen every other 4 years on Litecoin. So could the Litecoin halving actually be the catalyst that we require to actually move the altcoins forward and cause them to start rallying further than Bitcoin? Because guys, Bitcoin has had a gigantic rally. We've seen Bitcoin rally 330%, and even though Litecoin's rallied even more, still, if you look at the Litecoin comparative, most of those rallies happened a long time ago. Most of those gains happened 4 months ago. They haven't really happened lately. Bitcoin has been taking all of the spotlight. Like I said, that normally happens when you're at the beginning of a bull market, at the beginning of a rally. That is not abnormal. But what I do think is abnormal is for it to continue. I think that we're going to see a change in that. If we look at the history here on Bitcoin, and first I want to show you this also. This is total market capitalization up here, and you can see the rally that we've had in market capitalization. If you look at total market capitalization excluding Bitcoin, you can see it just kind of slumped here. We haven't really seen a whole lot going on down here because not a lot of value is flowing into the altcoins. There are two reasons for that, I believe. One, most altcoins are complete garbage. The vast majority of them, I really don't do a lot of technical analysis or trading on anything outside of the top 10, maybe the top 15, which is why you guys don't see me talking about like rank 100 penny cryptos, if you will. But at the same time, the other reason I think this is happening to altcoins is because it's much easier for Bitcoin to start a rally when all the news is about Bitcoin. Guys, a lot of these fundamental bullish developments are not happening in the altcoins, and the ones that are not the ones that are making the news. Things like Bitcoin adoption, or Bitcoin versus Libra, or Bitcoin being implemented with TD Ameritrade with an exchange they're working on, or ICE working on Backed, or many of these other major developments that are going on. They're happening to Bitcoin. They are happening to some of these altcoins, but the vast majority of the news is going towards Bitcoin, and Bitcoin does typically lead the charge because it's top dog. If we look here into history, what you're going to see here is, funnily enough, for the majority of 2017, right around the time I got in, Bitcoin was actually having a gigantic rally. Bitcoin dominance got as low as 38%. Ethereum almost passed it for a little while. 38%, and then Bitcoin dominance rallied all the way up to right around where we are now of like 65%. Guess what date that was? That was December the 7th. Do you guys remember what happened on December the 7th, 2017, not 1941? I'll tell you what happened on December the 7th. We ran all the way up here to $20,000 on Coinbase, and then a couple days later, Bitcoin ran to it again, and we started the bear market. Look at what happened here on Bitcoin's dominance. Bitcoin's dominance jumped off a cliff, and these altcoins grabbed up all the dominance. Because if you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin hit its all-time high on December 17th, but take a look at what happened with Ethereum. You would have thought that Ethereum would have hit it around the same time. Ethereum hit its all-time high nearly a month later, after the bear market had already started. Because guys, what I want you to understand is that oftentimes Bitcoin is leading the charge and the altcoins are about a month or two behind where Bitcoin is. All of this to say that Bitcoin has had a gigantic rally, the altcoins have not, and what I think that means is that over the next 6 months or so, the altcoins are going to start to improve, and they're going to start doing better and better and better, especially with something like the Litecoin halving coming up. Perhaps this could be the catalyst for a major move on Litecoin, which could then start the dominoes falling to cause major moves in the other altcoins. It's going to take time for the bull market to continue to establish itself. We're still in the early phases of this bull market, but when you have a bull market going on, you are eventually going to see that the altcoins are going to have their altcoin cycle and they are going to start doing better than Bitcoin. That's the way this works. This chart here fluctuates. Bitcoin dominance is not going to continue rising forever. It is going to come down and those altcoins are going to do well. So even though I haven't been trading a whole lot of altcoins lately because they have not been doing very well over their Bitcoin comparatives, I think that's going to change and I think that's a trend that we need to keep up with. So guys, tell me in the comment section down below if you are in any altcoin positions right now. I'm going to be looking to get into some swing trades on Litecoin, and to define our terms, I'm looking for a trade on Litecoin that will take us through the Litecoin halving. Oftentimes after a halving happens, you do see a major rally. Sometimes you see a crash. It can go either way. You want to protect yourself. I will be taking profits like right after the halving on part of my position, but I do want to start looking for more altcoin investments because the vast majority of my investing portfolio right now is in Bitcoin, and while I do like Bitcoin, I would like a little bit more higher risk, higher return investments like in some of these other altcoins that you see here on the screen before you. Like I said, guys, tell me in the comment section down below what altcoins you are invested in, what kind of gains you are looking to make, and also tell me if you enjoyed today's video and if you have any feedback for what we can do better in the future, if you have any ideas for videos that you'd like to see coming from the channel in the future, anything that you want to tell us, put it in the description, put it in the comments down below, and I will try to read it. I try to read every single comment, even if I can't respond to every single one of them. I do try to read every single comment. Guys, there's nearly 100,000 comments on this channel, and I've tried to read every single one of them. It's hard, but I enjoy every single minute of it, guys. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for joining us today and watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.